is becoming oversaturated. 3, 2, 1, agree to disagree. You gotta step out of the neutral line.
I'm getting insecure.
Getting a job at a big name tech company is important to me. And 3, 2, 1, choose your sides. You can't go in the middle, by the way. Right, you have to choose a side. Yeah.
Don't really need to be at Atlassian or Google. I think it's all hyped up. And I think it puts unnecessary pressure on graduates that they have to be there. They don't have to. And it's natural if you don't get there because they've got like huge quotas and they looking for specific people. So I think it's not healthy to put yourself at that standard all the time.
I think being a big tech company can be great, because obviously the work culture is very reputable. But at the end of the day, I think it all depends on who you work with, your manager, your teammates. If you get really bad teammates in your group and you get a really bad manager, it wouldn't be a really fun experience working for a tech giant, right? But if let's say you work for a really small startup, but then you have really friendly people, you have friendly managers, and then you also get good treatment, a winning situation.
So I slightly agree with this statement, mainly just because, obviously getting a good tech company is good for your resume, but also the fact that a lot of the people that are hired at these tech companies are really, really experienced at what they do, and I just like to learn from these people.
I think a big tech company brings along with a lot of prestige. And at least for me personally, being a first year, I'm at a stage where I want that prestige, maybe just even to prove to myself or my family, justifying this path that I've taken. Like choosing not to go into law or medicine, the traditional one, which older cousins have gone into. I think a big tech company allows me to justify that decision. And maybe that's not the healthiest perspective, but it is currently what I hold.
I will be making a positive impact on the world through my degree. 3, 2, 1, choose a side.
I think when I associate a job with a positive impact, CS wouldn't be the first one that comes to mind necessarily. I might have a small positive impact, but it wouldn't be as big as if I was in a charitable firm or in some sort of other degree where I could make a more direct impact.
I think I agree with that statement. However, I think we kind of facilitate companies like charities and other non-for-profits to do the things that they're trying to do. So for example, the job that I applied for, we work in email marketing and we work closely with charities and non-for-profits to spur marketing campaigns, really to market the issues that are out there that are affecting everyone. So we may not have a direct hand, but we do have an indirect hand, which means we're still benefiting the world through our degree.
I strongly agree with this statement because I think technology runs the world right now, and that's something that I definitely agree with. And that comes in many different aspects, whether it's in healthcare, it's in agriculture, or it's just simply in personal appliances, right? I think computer science covers a wide range of aspects that we can try to explore.
Well, in my ethnic family, of course, the only respectable degrees were things like law and medicine, and sort of my parents were very pressing on me becoming a doctor of some sort. And so I like to see computer science as a degree where your work will affect thousands, millions of people, whereas doctors, especially for example like GPs, they'd only be helping one person at a time. So I mean, I'd love to help make a huge difference in my degree, and I believe that technology does run the world, so our degree will definitely make a huge impact.
Everyone should learn how to code. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh. Ooh, okay.
I guess you could say, because lots of people that approach me when I say I do comp sci say, oh, I wish I learned how to code, like I feel like it would have made me more employable and things like that. But I mean, I personally don't think it's a necessity. I mean, there are so many different skills out there for other people to learn, and the great thing about having so many people in the world is that different people know different things, and so people can collaborate and use their own opinions and own skills to create things together. Coding does not necessarily need to be learned by other people. People are just good at other things. Like, I mean, I have some friends that are like, oh my god, I don't ever want to code again after Edge 1811. And so, like, just leave them to be good at whatever they want to be good at.
I think it's good to really think about that an educated democracy is a well-formed democracy. So making sure that you straying away from dystopia is making sure that you understand the concepts that now frame our world. So coding is a huge part of what we do now and into the future. So it's good to have basic knowledge so that you're not going to be persuaded by fake news and fake information that's out there about technology. For example, we were talking about last night. I was having a discussion with a friend who was like, AI is going to take over the world and yada yada, but not really, because we're not there yet. And there's so much more to AI than just the facial recognition, the speech recognition. So it's good to get educated, to know how to code, to facilitate, contributing to a well-formed democracy.
We might not see maybe the smaller picture, like how can we use, how can we write a script to do something really simple that can maybe, let's say, help a supermarket to predict which product to sell, which product not to sell. The supermarket owner might not have a specific software engineering degree or have the time to do a degree, but he or she can obviously learn to enjoy the benefits of coding. And I do think everyone should at least have to try to understand, not necessarily to master, but try to understand the benefits that coding can bring to them or their business.
You can look at coding instead of just a technical perspective, you can look at the skills it also gives you. So for example, breaking down problems into smaller sections, and actually learning how to solve problems bit by bit. That is a really invaluable skill, and that carries on so much further than just coding. And having those skills, those really soft skills that you can apply everywhere, is really important, and it's a huge part of why people should code.
As a bit of a counterpoint, I offer everyone should do philosophy, everyone should do law, everyone should do business. Why is CS in particular worthy of everyone has to do it? I think it comes down to time. We only have a set amount of time, and I think CS would honestly be not that high on things I think everyone should have to do. It's kind of like the debate of should maths be compulsory in high school? I personally, I think that's the CS people in the room talking, right? If you do, if you're more arts based, if you're doing humanities, if you're doing a law degree, you don't necessarily need maths. If you're going into a trade, again, someone told me I was originally in the favor of making maths compulsory, or in this debate, obviously, but someone told me, what's the benefit of getting the bottom 5% of kids in the state who hate maths? What's the benefit of forcing them to do basic maths if they're not going to pay attention? They're just going to hate it. You're just going to turn them off logical thinking altogether. And I don't know, that really opened my eyes to, maybe I think it is important, but at the end of the day, everyone has different things they want to do in life. Everyone has a set amount of time. You have to choose what you spend it on.
Software engineering isn't real engineering. 3, 2, 1, to decide. Sounds like an ethics. Okay.
Yeah, so I actually do a software engineering degree. And after having done Edge 1000, I can definitely tell you I do not belong in that room. Nah, it's just, I associate engineering with more of a physical construction kind of thing. And at least from a software engineering perspective, I feel like I fit more at home with the CS group. So that's why I believe software engineering is not a real engineering. Please get me out of the School of Engineering. Thank you.
Software engineering is a form of engineering. If we look at what engineering really is, it's just making things and having a product that people can use. So software engineering definitely is a type of engineering. Even though it uses computer science to engineer, it's engineering.
I don't have any strong opinions, that's why I'm here. But I think when you get to the ethics course, when you do it, they'll really distinguish what an engineer really does. So we're talking about what we do the day-to-day. We make stuff, we build stuff, we engineer stuff. But I think we were really making a distinguish between the two types of engineers or why software engineers shouldn't really be called an engineering job, but I'll leave that to that course to decide.
CSE is becoming oversaturated. 3, 2, 1, agree to disagree. You gotta step out of the neutral line.
I'm getting insecure.
You can feel free to also shuffle your opinions during the debate.
So the reason why I say this is because I know a couple of people that decided to do computer science, software engineering because they're like, oh, I've heard so many great aspects about software engineering and computer science. And once you start hearing that, you know it's oversaturated. People are doing the degree not because they want to, but like because of what it can give to them, right? Which is not really the point of doing a university degree, in my opinion.
Yeah, actually, talking more on what Francis has said, now that see, that's sort of why I was going between slightly agree, slightly disagree. The reason why I would have slightly agreed is because it's becoming one of those jobs that's like, if I do this degree, I'm certainly going to get a job. So it's like, well, if you're thinking everyone's going to get a job, then probably everyone is getting jobs. Like maybe, and then maybe there's now, because of that mentality, there are going to be too many people in here. The reason why I do disagree is for as long as I go on Indeed.com and see jobs for me, I am fine. Thankfully. Whether I get into them, that's different.
I think we discourage people from exploring what they want to do when we say things are oversaturated. So to the point that Francis makes, so if back 10 years ago, 20 years ago, everyone wanted to be a doctor, would you say that was an oversaturation? Well, maybe, but then there wouldn't be doctors now, today, that are in the profession because they chose not to take it because it was oversaturated. So I'm on the disagree side, but I think I also agree with the point that they can take a course and then say, oh, it's easy to get a job, but isn't that a part of life? That's what you're here for. You discover things that you like through a course, and if you don't like it, you go out, you get a job. You don't like it, you come back, study for more. I think that's... I'm going to move over here. Yeah, that's my point.
Can you guys align yourself? Tallest at the back, please.
Rolling 6, 7, 8, 9.
Read my post article, by the way.